Shall we start talking a little bit about Leroy's situation? You say coming in 1990, and then get his perspective on the upcoming NFL draft. As we speak, it's coming in 5 days, right?
Yes, coming in real fast.
One question. Tom Bratz came down after he picked
Bratzy, yeah.
and he said, I remember, a lot of people think he's going to be a safety. We think he can be a corner. And they put you at corner at the start. Talk about the transition from corner to safety.
I never told this story. I get the phone call. I come in, I was 3 days late. Wasn't my fault. It was a 3-day holdout. Packers just didn't want to,
Only hate it, right?
Yeah. Actually, Bratz he figured out a way back then with incentives to pay you more so it would look good, not only through the union, but in the media. So it was like, you can have this great way to get paid a lot of money, but we're going to structure it. All you have to do is stay healthy. I think he was ahead of his time of structuring contracts so guys can feel like, that it's not a long-term deal, you're locked in, and you can actually get out of it. But at the same time, if you work out, you stay out of trouble, you be a good person off the field, they will pay you for that, and it was brilliant. So when I came in, I went to the depth chart first. I saw the depth chart guy. I didn't see my name. And he was like, well, you're not up there because you're not practicing. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm the second round pick. I want to start. He said, no, you may not start. That was the first time somebody was honest with me and didn't just tell me, oh, you're going to start. It was difficult because I knew in the back of my mind I played safety and corner. So I played corner for a couple years, and then all of a sudden I got a phone call from Ray Rhodes, and Ray Rhodes said, listen.
San Francisco? Or?
No, he was in Green Bay.
Oh, he's in Green Bay. Okay.
He said, I got this great idea. I said, what's that? They're going to probably draft Leroy Butler. You got to go to safety. I said, huh? Well, wait a minute. I was a corner. I was a safety. I could play both, but come again? He said, no, listen. I said, but coach, I'm not big enough to play safety. He said, no. The way I envision, I want my base defense to stay on the field. If you can cover a third receiver, I can do more things. So I think you'll be one day be a Hall of Famer. He said that. If you do these things, so they draft Leroy Butler. Now I'm a safety, and now I kind of get on with my career.
The rest is history.
And I was like, okay, it was great. And I never wanted to go back to corner because safety seemed to me to be the most fun. Because if you're a safety, you get that name for a reason. But if you look behind you, it's the end zone, okay? So they put a lot of trust in me. And if it wasn't for Ray Rhodes, I don't know what my career would have been, but he was right. I really enjoyed playing safety. That was awesome.
The beginning of the Ron Wolf era, I think, occurred in the third week of '92. Mm-hmm. You're down 17-3. First play in the fourth quarter, T-Buck takes the punt back against Cincinnati.
Yes.
And I was watching your sideline, and it was completely just everybody's down, and we're going to lose our third straight game. He took that back, and what is it about Florida State guys in the open field? It's just different. You can tell. You don't even look at the flip chart. That's got to be a Florida State guy, right?
Yeah, and I don't know how you're brilliant. How you remember this stuff?
These the Packers survived.
This is amazing because you're right about that. That Cincinnati game, Don Mikowski just got hurt, and Terrell Buckley. And I remember Terrell Buckley saying that he was going to be Jim Thorpe. It just seemed like Mickey Andrews was our defensive coordinator. Martin Mayhew, Deion Sanders, myself, Terrell, numerous other corners. He always taught us, once you get the ball, you're not a defender anymore, you're an offender. Score. Mm-hmm. And do it with style and grace. He taught us that. I intercept the ball and just don't get down. No, you just try to score. And it was just something about that. Because I used to do punt return. Terrell did it. Of course, Deion did it. But that game changed a lot for the franchise.
It really did.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
From the perspective of the draft, as we move forward, Leroy, there are so many possibilities out there.
Yes.
Will they go offense now that they have the free agents? How about first of all, please, your perspective on what the Packers did in free agency. How much of a difference, you've got the old lineup, but how much of a difference will those three players make potentially to improve that team?
I think it's going to work together. It's going to all be synchronized. You needed a pass rusher, so you have the Smith brothers, and you have, because Clay Matthews was somebody that's been here for a long time. He's a Packer Hall of Famer. It was going to be difficult. How do you move on for that? As well as Randall Cobb. But the defense, actually, if you look at it statistically, was like top 5, top 10 in sacks. But it was Kyler Fackrell who got 10 sacks. He had a breakout year. But they needed more. So Nick Perry wasn't coming back. So there's their replacements. On offense, Turner is going to be a guy, a kind of a swing offensive line. They can play him at guard if they want. They can play him at tackle if they want. Now the pressure isn't so much on the draft to get an impact player. You can be very, very astute at this spot because they've had reports, allegedly. Drew Lock, quarterback, was here. They've had Jonah Williams, who I think they should take it to 12 big offensive lineman from Alabama. But, Devin White, Sweat. They have so many guys that can do. You do that to send the smoke screens. Because if all these quarterbacks drop, do you pass on a quarterback? If you go back, when they drafted Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre was about the same age, same thing going on, but I don't know if you can draft a guy with this many holes that high. But if these quarterbacks come out, Haskins, or one of these guys drop there, do you select a quarterback? Or you fake like you're going to, the head fake, like I may drafted, and some team 7 spots back say, we got to get this guy.
Before Green Bay.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because they're putting out there these smoke screen. They may draft this guy, they move up, you can get an extra first round pick or an extra second round pick and fill more holes. I thought it was brilliant to bring in quarterbacks. I mean, I thought it was a good way for Gutekunst to be. This will be really his first draft. That's an impact draft that's so high. Because you never want to draft in the top 12 again. You want to draft in the 20s and 30s because that means you're going to the playoffs and things of that nature.
Yeah.
But I think, to me, if you're going to get Aaron Rodgers, you're kind of up before Russell Wilson, highest paid quarterback, you must protect him. Because last I checked, Khalil Mack is still on the south side. So you got to start building a line to stop this guy. Otherwise, he's going to wreak havoc on you for the next 3 or 4 years. So I think it'll be an offensive lineman. If they get a player, Quint Williams or something, the best defensive lineman there, I don't know how you pass on him either. But they're in the position because of free agency to just sit back and let this thing navigate to us and just see what happens. And I think they're in a great position at number 12.
We've got a couple of minutes, in part because we don't want to keep you here all day, although we would love doing it here.
I'd probably keep y'all here.
No, that'd be madness. We talk about McCarthy and Rodgers and everything, all the stuff that came out.
Yeah.
Well, let's face it, you know this better than anyone. Ted Thompson's last 3 drafts were not great, and that's in part why they're there. We saw what the Saints did in a relatively short amount of time after subpar seasons, below 500. Can this draft, with Aaron Rodgers help me, if everything comes together, can the Packers contend for a championship in this coming season, or do they have to wait till 2020?
That's a very interesting question because I really do feel like the NFC is wide open. I mean, the Rams scored 3 points in the Super Bowl. So you have to feel like with Aaron Rodgers, you have a better chance of getting to the NFC Championship game than any team because he's the best quarterback in the NFC, whether people want to argue that or not. But this is our show. We can do whatever we want. So
it's your show. We're just kind of the bookends.
Let's get
that straight.
With that being said, I think they got 2 more holes to fill and they can compete. They have to find a safety that's more athletic to go with Amos. They have to do that. And they have to find another impact guy in the slot. Randall Cobb destroyed Chicago for years. I mean, just go YouTube it. The guy was amazing. Right now, it's a big hole in that slot. They got to put somebody there because that guy can be your return guy. Dak is like killing 2 things. Well, I don't want to say a bird or whatever, but you can knock out 2 things in one throw. That's a big hole with Randall Cobb because he was a great leader. Not only was Aaron Rodgers one of his best friends. If you get those two positions, short of safety and the slot, you can compete with these teams in the NFC. And once you get to the Super Bowl, anything can happen. They're on a fast track right now. It will be a lot of on the job training because LaFleur's never done a head coaching job before. But the good thing about it is, for some reason, if this ship's getting a little rocky, you have a great captain in Aaron Rodgers. He can get you back on track. He'll keep you relevant. That's the reason why you got 4 out of your first 5 games on national televised. That's the reason. So you just need everybody else, the Devontae Adams, those guys, they will step up and put up big numbers. But in defense, who's going to be that guy? Because Matthews is gone. And that guy has to be Mike Daniels, Califacker, and these guys. Kevin King has to be healthy. They got the guys, but they got to be healthy. And I think that's a good way to challenge. So I use that word. If you're not challenging your guys, then you're rebuilding. You can do both. You can do both. Then you got to look at the teams around you. Minnesota, good defense. Quarterbacks are going to put up a lot of numbers. Detroit. I mean, they can throw it all the time. And again, you're going to play Chicago. So the good thing about it is, for all Packer fans, I would not be worried about this team as much as people were worried back in 1992, 93 when we had that transition. People were really worried coming off the 80s. This is going to be a terrible team. We're going to be bad. Mike Holmgren, he's never coached before. We don't know who is this Brett Favre guy they traded for. Oh, woe is me. We remember that.
Favre? How do you say that guy's name?
I remember the Anthony Dilwig days and the Blair Kills.
DJ Rutley.
Give me some heartburn medicine. I mean, this is just.
Take a sip of water.
I know, right? Why you do that to me? But people, we can calm down, relax, and let's get on this ride together. Because I really think it's going to be a lot stable than people think.
We've got maybe one quick question from the Packers savant and the Hall of Famer, draft related or otherwise, as we take it out with great thanks to you, Leroy.
Oh, the pressure's on it. Ted Thompson, his philosophy was to not sign free agents, except for big ones. He had Peppers and whatever, but you wanted to let people go and get comp picks. I thought it was interesting, it's your take, that Gutekunst, since he signs players, won't get comp picks, but he was able to get a 4th-round pick for HaHa Clinton-Dix right at the trade deadline. And the way for what he signed with Chicago, and that they would have received a 7th-round comp pick for that. So, can you talk about the safety play a little bit? Because when HaHa left, they brought people in off the street and they moved Tremont Williams over, and I didn't notice that much of a difference, that much of a drop off. Did you see the same thing, or did you?
No, I think you're right. I think with Gutekunst, another brilliant thing he did with Jair Alexander is he traded that spot, moved back, and picked up the Saints 30. So now they can pick a safety up at 30 if they want. I like the Jonathan Abrams guy at safety. But here's the difference between Ted Thompson, who's going to the Packer Hall of Fame May 4th, and I'll be there for that. He just saw it differently. If he was still here, Jordy Nelson would still be here. Randall Cobb would still be here. And you probably would see, Nick Perry, all those guys would still be here. And that you're right about all the stress would be in the undrafted free agents. And they just hopefully hit like a Sam Shields. Gutekunst is more of a fast pace to say, listen, we'll spend the money, but I got to save some just in case and get these 1-year deals in July. And, in June and July and August, veterans was out there like the Wilkerson deal. 1 year, he got injured. But the 1 year, $5 million deals. So he's trying to juggle all of that. And it's been fun to see him put it together. Because you're right. To Ted, my free agent was re-signing my guys. That's signing a free agent. I mean, it's semantics, but that's the way he saw it. He wanted to invest in his team, not so much into somebody else's team. Because the Martellus Bennett thing just didn't work. And I think it just spooked a lot of people. Oh, well, maybe we should do free agency. But no, they have to do both. You got to draft and development, but at the same time, you need veterans in that locker room. And I'm a little biased, but the safety position has to be on point. You cannot miss. It's a one position you can't miss. You can miss on corner if you can get him help. You can miss on a linebacker if you can get him help. You can never get a safety help. So you got to draft a safety, and you got to give the Josh Joneses of the world a chance to find out how good he really is. But you got to get a playmaker right there with Amos. Just make plays. And if you don't, you're going to see a lot of stress put on the secondary. And now you're going to get in shootouts every week. And that's the stress you don't want to put on your play caller, which is Malibu.
It's a good year for safeties.
Oh, yes, it
It's
is.
a deep year for
Yeah, it
safeties.
really is.
Not for corners,
Yeah,
but for
but
safeties.
for safety, yeah, you're right.
You know, we feel like we have a podcast with this expert here. I could call the star of the show. Are you ready to share this, or are you ready to kind of defer? Right?
Absolutely.
Just step aside.
To the Hall of Famer,
We have-
absolutely.
yeah.
Oh, no.
So we feel like we're a playoff contender, but you make this a Super Bowl championship podcast. But of course, we need to get out there and sell it and have sponsors. So we're going to be doing that. And if you're interested in knowing more, just again, Google the Tom Pippins Show with John Dodds or go to tompippins.com. But you'll see this latest cast with Leroy Butler. We hope to make him a permanent member of the team. We cannot thank you enough for taking the time to come
Always
out
my
and be with us.
Well, you know I love
Yeah,
you. So
you're the best.
Yeah, that's
He
no doubt
is the
about
best, and he will be in Canton, as John, as you said, soon. So again, thank you, everybody. Really
you, John.
appreciate your company and look forward to being with you again soon. Bye-bye.
And also did it again with Ray Rose and Mike Sherman. And you kind of look for those kind of nuances, but you have to bring the team together. But at the same time, when the schedule came by, that really was a good thing for the Packers, for people concentrating on that schedule. But the NFL leaked out already that the Packers would play Chicago for the first game. I thought they were going to just do the Super Bowl rematch, but they said no. For our 100th year, we're going to do the most storied rivalry.